Okay, hi everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'm a bit under the weather, so if I pass it off to Joe at any time, it's because I'm not feeling very well. So what we'd like to do here is, if you guys are all interested in natural resources, we do have a recruitment video that we'd like to show you first. And then at the end of it, of course, we can field any questions that you might have that come up from the video. All right? Any questions before we get started? No? Great.
And people come along thinking it's real, and
it's a great career, especially if you enjoy the outdoors.
I can go from being in a boat to a quad to a helicopter all in the same day.
Looking for poachers one day and checking commercial fishermen the next day.
We don't punch clocks. A lot of times we set up our own schedules, our own time. You'd be working early mornings, late nights, till 5, 6, 7 in the morning.
No clue what's going to happen next. You could be 1 minute sitting in your office, the next minute you're jumping through a swamp on a quad, running through campgrounds, walking on beaches.
You do your timber inspections, or you do your fisheries and wildlife checks, and you're out in the bush.
Many of our districts are extremely large, so I can spend a day and never cross the same road twice.
You get to see a lot of the province, and it's really beautiful. Places that I would have never normally have gone.
The freedom of the job to actually be out in the wilderness.
Paddling a canoe, portaging. It's all physically demanding, but at the end of the day, you get to sit on the side of the lake and watch the sun go down.
Gets a call for a forest fire in the afternoon, and the next day he's on Lake Winnipeg checking commercial fishing nets.
We can go on extended patrols for days.
Once you get further up north, and it's like birds, and there's moose everywhere, and there's bears and there's deer, and it's just, Manitoba's a great place.
You can transfer if you'd like to different areas. You can go up north or south.
You just jump on the skidoo. There's all kinds of snowman trails in the southern part of the province that we patrol. Ice fishermen to check.
Pretty much a jack of all trades. That's the best way to sum up what we do.
Every day is different.
Fighting fire is basically an adrenaline junkie's dream.
it's exciting. You get to fly around the helicopter. You're the first one on the scene.
You're watching smoke rise from the bush from about 20 miles away. You land on the side of a river, you jump out of a helicopter into your waist-deep water, full gear. From then it's just straight adrenaline, driving right through the bush, driving to the fire.
There's lots of water bombers flying around and lots of people scrambling everywhere, and it's very hot and intense.
You guys say if you're doing it right, when you come off a fire, you'll be black from head to toe. And it's a real rush.
You really have to be a people person, I think, and it's really quite enjoyable.
Most people we encounter have a really good attitude towards us. They recognize us as being the managers and enforcers of the wildlife regulations. And it's really accepted that we're out there doing our job, and they do their part to help us every day they can too.
You get to meet little kids and older adults that ask all sorts of questions, and their eyes light up when you're around them.
We protected the community of Churchill from polar bears that came into town.
A bear call comes in, and two officers will respond.
We trap, tranquilize.
An adult male polar bear is anywhere 1,000 pounds plus. The time that I served in Churchill, the biggest one we had there was 1560, which is a humongous bear. If the bear is persistent, comes back a number of times, we'll get a helicopter and an officer will go in that helicopter and we'll helidart that bear from the helicopter.
We'd hold the bears to a certain time until the ice formed on the bay and then release them onto the ice, or if our bear jails got full, we would fly them north via helicopter and sling and then release them north along the coast, and hopefully they didn't return to town.
I'm here to manage fisheries on the Red River. I enforce the rules and regulations. I'm an avid angler myself.
We would check mesh size, make sure that the fishermen are pulling in their fish, keeping them fresh.
Decoy operation, basically we have 3 units. Two units are your takedown units, and they're the ones that when you call them in, they come and take down the offender. And one guy is running in remote control deer. And people come along thinking it's real and they shoot it. And well, it's not real. And it's usually in an area where they're not allowed to hunt.
The most excitement is in the fall hunting season when you get into patrols and getting into some enforcement action and vehicle pursuits and some takedowns and things like that. Gets a little interesting, gets your blood flowing.
I've dealt with nightlighters and high-speed chases where the adrenaline rush is just to the ultimate max.
We're looking for people who will take the lead, will take charge of situations, whether it's helping someone who has overturned their boat to helping find lost persons, dealing with problem wildlife, bears, for example.
Self-starter, self-motivated. You gotta like working by yourself and without people telling you what to do every day.
We need people who aren't afraid to get into the mix and take charge.
They need a guy who can go out there and make a decision and make a good one.
Mountain bike, canoe, kayak, hike, camp, do all those great things. And they just want to be a part of it. They want to work in an environment that will enable them to do those things while they're getting paid.
My job is never boring. I live to go to work.
Most of us don't do it for a paycheck. We do it because we love to do it.
Let's face it, you get paid to play.
It's the best job I can get to keep on quads, boats, keep in the bush.
You're sitting on a shore having a lunch and wow, I'm getting paid for today.
To want to go to work because it's fun.
Every day is different, it's exciting, you get to do night patrols,
Especially you go out in the boat and you see a bunch of kids out there with their parents fishing. That's what hits home for me. That's what I like.
It's great because I know that we're out there making a difference. We're making people realize that natural resources do count.
This is the best career anybody could ever choose.
So one thing you notice from the video is that we did change the color of our uniforms, but like those were tan and went to green the year after I made that, so that's the difference if you're wondering. And the reason we made that recruitment video is as you can see, our jobs are so diverse that when you sit at the booth here and somebody says, well, what do you do? We do everything. Like it's such a diverse job, and you can specialize in certain areas, and I think that kind of sums it up, sort of.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, just like Joe mentioned, we are a multidisciplined agency, as you can see. So we do look after forestry, wildfires, fisheries, commercial fishing, and sports fishery. We also look at the provincial parks in Manitoba. If anybody's ever been camping in a provincial park, we're the ones that look after safety and security within the parks. And we're also the third largest enforcement agency in the province.